and welcome back to the channel, the ultimate destination for sports. Thanks for tuning in and joining the conversation with your guy, the sports judge. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and if you're watching on TikTok, please follow me. Well, the San Francisco 49ers fall to 5-6 with a 38-10 loss to the Green Bay Packers. The team currently sits in last place in the NFC West, with the Seahawks moving into first place due to the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Cardinals. Niners fans are stuck in football hell. It's been that kind of year. The inconsistent highs and immediate lows. What are we talking about here? This can't be the same 49ers team that we saw less than a year ago in the Super Bowl. This can't be the same 49ers team that would dominate the NFC West. This can't be the same 49ers team that looked like the most complete team in the league a year ago in many people's eyes. Guess what? Unfortunately, it is the same 49ers team. It's crazy to see how bad they've regressed in absolutely every aspect this year. And it's clearer each week that they're just not a Super Bowl team. And I feel like when teams go all in on heavy rosters like the 49ers have, there will be questions if they struggle the way they have. If they have 5 wins and 6 losses, and if they were just a Super Bowl caliber team just several months ago. In this scenario, you can probably argue that this team is not a playoff team. Is the most fair way to go about it. What this means is what we already know. The Niners aren't even close to being as much of a threat as they were last season. They don't scare anyone. They don't feel scary anymore. It's not a team you look at and turn the other way feeling intimidated or terrified. Teams had a fear of seeing the 49ers. Nobody fears them anymore. You don't have to feel that way about the 49ers anymore. They just don't make you more likely to have the same fear. So I'm looking at it from that standpoint and saying, wait a minute, as a unit, the defense has taken a huge step back game to game. It's weird and frustrating. And that being said, the defense takes a staggering step back every game. Vocal point of the offense is Christian McCaffrey didn't play half of the season. It will take him some time to get into game shape. You have to take that into consideration. The fact that Deebo Samuel isn't playing that well has this offense looking lifeless and defeated at times. I'm just looking at him. Listen, he looks old and washed. Deebo, he doesn't look that impressive offensively. So I think about that as well, him not being as explosive. And when you consider the fact that he isn't getting off the ball and doesn't have the speed, I'm going to go ahead and say the 49ers are really nothing without those two guys. And then you were without your starting quarterback, Brock Purdy. I feel like in a season that was meant to be a year they could contend for the Super Bowl, we're met with the hard reality of a closing window. The reality is they just don't have it this year. Unfortunately, I think their window is closed. They are starting to get aged in key positions and can't stay healthy in others. I just don't see them making the playoffs. I don't. That's what it feels like. It's a different team for sure. The problem with where the 49ers currently are is there's not, you can't really expect to turn things around when you still can't right the wrongs. I think this team is overvalued because of what they've done to be successful in prior seasons. There's a real possibility they are going to miss the playoffs. Playing bad football as a team, in my mind, tells me this team is not playoff worthy and won't go very far. Even if they did sneak into the playoffs, they're most likely a one-and-done team. Even with the talent, the 49ers have one of the most atrocious offenses in the league. Here's something about the 49ers that's not being brought up. The thing about this team is that nobody on offense has any explosive playability right now. When watching this team in the past few years of their success, they've always been able to pull out a big play. It's weird, but it's reality. Now you're seeing a team lose the trenches on both sides of the ball. That's a common theme this year. Boring, slow, unexciting. The core cannot continue. I don't know what to tell you guys in the Bay Area. I really don't. Guess what? And maybe I'm overreacting to say, but I have a feeling this year is over. By now, everybody on this team is booking reservations and flights ready for a vacation and a golf course. Of course, you look at them and say, it's not looking good. When you look at the 49ers, it's harder and harder to believe in them. A turnaround seems out of question as the season grows older. Now we've seen 2 weeks in a row bad coaching, D-line struggles, and sloppy overall football. The injuries have sucked. The overall play, has been terrible. And what it is as well, the defense doesn't do what it's been doing. That's why we love football so much, because the good teams don't always win. The team that gets hot and plays particularly the best that day wins, and that's the thing that I've seen all year. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs. While they have a winning record, they have not looked like their usual selves and have not played top-level football. Excuse me. Sunday's game versus the Panthers was a close call. It was a moral victory for Carolina at home against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. But to get back on point, I don't like what I've seen from the 49ers. I see the big picture, and I also see the big problems in terms of fatal flaws. But I don't think they see it. The big picture is coaching. Kyle Shanahan, his evolving system is predictable and timed up perfectly because the tempo never changes. The weakness is Kyle's mistakes with personnel and game management. It's inexcusable, regardless the reasoning. I don't give a damn what he tells us. Don't give me any excuses. And any fan defending Kyle is blind or drunk. Clearly, you have a coach who has lost control of the team and the organization. You gave him too much power. He had a great run, and now his time is up in San Francisco. The penalties, the play calling, the roster management. This is below mediocre. And even when you know something is not working, you're still stuck in the same scheme, and everyone has caught on to it. What are you doing plugging up the middle of the field, forcing tight window throws where interceptions are most likely to happen? The defense doesn't respect the 9 ball in this offense. That game on Sunday should have shown you how bad of a coach Kyle Shanahan is and how much he has worn out his welcome. His game plan this year hasn't worked at all. I thought it was silly to start a guy with a finger brace over Josh Dobbs. I don't know what you were thinking when you fired Steve Wilks as the defensive coordinator. Guess what? The defense has never been the same since. You don't just shockingly fire him because you obviously pushed for your own guy. Wilks gets fired and replaced by Nick Sorsen, who is the worst defensive play caller, by the way. I mean, my goodness. It's like this guy has no clue what he's doing. And so you go, wait, You let Steve Wilks go to give the job to someone who looks just as unprepared and unmotivated as the Niners defense? And that's how it has been all year on the defensive side of the ball. All because Kyle wanted to bring in his guy, and it has made the team worse. They were better off keeping Steve Wilks as the defensive coordinator. I don't care if the players didn't get along with him. Sometimes you got to make it work, damn it. They went 12-5 last season with him as the coordinator. The unfortunate thing is Steve Wilks was scapegoated after the Super Bowl. I will say this defense, at least I can say this defense played with energy and passion. Nick Sorson comes in and sucked the talent, energy, and life out of the defense. This defense would be completely different and more productive with Steve Wilks. They believed coming off that Super Bowl season that Steve Wilks' defense gave up too many points, 17 being the number. And then it had to be a moment where Kyle Shanahan realized he made a regrettable decision to let him go. I guarantee you, if he could do it all over again, Shanahan would have kept Wilks as the defensive coordinator. I still don't know how Shanahan and the DC survives after this season. I don't think they need a rebuild, but I do think they need to retool. And when you lose as many games the way they have, it's alarming. It is. Big changes need to happen to this team. Defensive and special teams coaches got to go. Terrible special teams. The special teams alone have cost them 3 games this season. I talked about Kyle Shanahan, calling him overrated. And I'm going to tell everybody Kyle Shanahan has to be called out and held accountable. He needs to be held accountable for this. Okay, because this is an atrocity in San Francisco. I don't think I've ever recalled a team being on top, and I don't think I've ever seen a team regress as quickly as the 49ers have. I mean, it's crazy. It's like this team just lost its mojo, and they just don't even look like the same team. I can't even identify who the hell they are anymore. I don't think they know themselves who the hell they are. I mean, it's bad in San Francisco. I mean, it's bad. Damn, you might as well just lose the rest of the games and tank and see what you can get in the draft. I don't know, man, but it's been pretty bad in San Francisco. It's been a rough year for the 49ers. And I think, changes need to be made, and I think it starts with the coaching staff. There's going to be a lot of changes next season. I can tell you that. Thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciate the love and support. It's been real. I love chatting with y'all. This is my passion. I love talking sports with y'all. It's always fun. But anyway, guys, I got to go. I got to get out of here. We'll talk again very soon because I want to talk about the New York Giants and Malik Neighbors' comments after that loss on Sunday. I want to get into that. I also want to get into the Kansas City Chiefs as usual, surviving another close game. We'll talk about that as well. And I want to talk about Saquon Barkley, man, because I'm telling you, man, I think the MVP might be locked up. I think he might have the MVP locked up, man. After last night, that was an MVP performance. We'll talk about that too. But guys, take care. You guys, have a great night. Don't forget about the Harbaugh Bowl tonight. That's going to be a fun and exciting game. The Ravens versus the Chargers here in Los Angeles. Should be a good game. Monday Night Football tonight. Take care, everyone. I'm out of here. Peace.